And we're back. It's the fantasy pod you all know and love. Episode 11 on the year. This has been, without doubt, the craziest season that I can possibly remember. My laundry was in that picture. It was so crazy. So I shut my door. So, we are going to talk about the Week 12 recap of every matchup. We're going to talk about the standings, where we're at. We're going to talk about some math of how to make the playoffs. We'll talk about some last-minute trades because Jason Smith just has a problem with trading this year. We'll talk about our Week 13 predictions. And Jerry has apparently a surprise later on in the program. So I can hear myself on Jerry's.
Sorry, I was getting myself situated here.
We're doing it live, like Bill O'Reilly. So let's go ahead and get into the Week 12 recap. And as is tradition on this podcast, we always start with the commissioner's matchup because I just go left to right. That's Week 13. Going back to Week 12, I don't want to jinx it because I know it's going to end eventually, and it's probably going to end this week. But I just keep riding the hot streak, and you're all welcome, by the way, mind you, because Window could have basically qualified for the playoffs in all likelihood with a win this week. Put up 105. It was, I think, the 6th highest total in the league this week, but was not enough against my 139.5, second highest in the league. Looking at the score, it really was a surprise to me how badly not badly, like Nick Chubb had a really down day. Joe Burrow was, I guess, the low end of his floor. Gesicki didn't really do much. But the last couple weeks, my receivers have come on strong. T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, even Darnell Mooney, my flex play, who, maybe I think about Kareem Hunt if he's in. Thank goodness I didn't, because put up 15.
I don't know. I still think that your wide receivers are trash.
Such a dick.
I'm on the struggle bus right now trying to see the recap. I can't get to the recap screen. It's kind of bugging me.
So I'll narrate a little bit for everybody who's listening and not watching.
Why can't I see the recap screen right now, though? That's my main question.
I have no idea. If you're watching the stream, it'll pop on. I mean, like I say, we're about 30 seconds behind live, but it'll pop on.
Don't worry. I'm a big dummy. I was looking at Week 13. Nope, no, I still can't see the recap. I don't know what's going on. This is pissing me off. Okay. Anyways.
So
where were we?
So, I mean, my top performers, Josh Allen did what Josh Allen does, 26. Jonathan Taylor had, for him, a pedestrian day at 17.7, but I'm happy with any time he's scoring, 15 or more. T. Higgins and Jalen Waddle both put up 20 plus. Darnell Mooney put up 15. Browns defense even put up a respectable 11 against the Baltimore offense, which is garbage this year.
I feel like you should be thrilled about the Browns defense putting up 11 against Baltimore. 4 interceptions for Lamar Jackson. Are you fucking kidding me?
The Baltimore's offense has been suspect this year. I don't know if it's the fact that their running back core is a carousel of injuries. I don't know what it is, but Baltimore's offense is not Baltimore's offense of the last 2 years. But yeah, another almost 140-point performance. I had even some points on my bench. Van Jefferson, 16.8 on my bench. Jacoby Myers, 12.3 on my bench. Mac Jones had himself a solid day on my bench. So, I've got some depth as well, not to mention Kareem Hunt coming back into the fold. Not this week because he's on bye, but next week. So, all in all, great week for me. Happy to keep riding this win streak, which is now something I don't remember. It's I think maybe 6 games.
Too many.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we'll talk about, I'm sure later on in the show. James and I started the year 0-4, and since that time we have won 7 of 8, and we are both 7-5. It's nuts. This whole season is crazy. On the flip side, Windows team didn't massively this is why Windows team is
what it is. The horseshoe eventually was gonna fall out. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Patrick Mahomes on a bye doesn't help. But are you super mad that you got almost 29 out of Tua and Tyrod Taylor? You kind of got the most he was gonna get.
Yeah. I mean, you can make a case that Tua, like, with how efficient he's been lately, might have had a bigger day. You can make the case that, some of his guys, like Kyle Pitts, maybe underperformed, Michael Pittman underperformed. He had also some points on his bench.
He left some on the bench. You and I actually, I think we're having a conversation on FIFA about the tight end decision, so...
Yeah, like, I would have started Dawson Knox just because I don't trust Kyle Pitts as far as... I know it's a good matchup, but I don't trust Kyle Pitts in terms of consistency. And Dawson Knox is, like, one of the top 5 tight ends in fantasy because Josh Allen is Josh Allen. So, one of the interesting things is I think he might have... Again, speculating. We talked about this in the last episode of the pod on episode 10. I thought maybe part of the reason he might have done that is because of the kind of the mirror matchups we had. He had Tua starting, and I had Waddle and Gesicki to offset. He had Stephon Diggs and Dawson Knox to offset Josh Allen, and we talked about that in the previous episode about how that might offset it if those quarterbacks are going to those two weapons. Certainly, Tua relied on Waddle heavily, and I mean Allen relied on Diggs, but he also relied on Dawson Knox. He could have made up those points. I don't think he could. I don't think there was any combination that would have won in the week this week, realistically. But certainly he could have made up some points, which are going to be much needed in the wild card conversation. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward if Window can. I mean, the thing about Window and I now, and James too, if 8 wins is the magic number, which we're going to talk about later,
I believe it is.
Then first of all, that basically means, assuming that, like, we'll talk about, like, if it gives you a 99% chance to make the playoffs if you have 8 wins, Window and James play each other.
Yeah.
One of them is going to make the playoffs based on that Week 14 matchup. Like, it almost doesn't matter. I mean, it matters what they do this week because they could already qualify. But I'm just saying, like, that Week 14 matchup is a must-win.
It is. I mean, at this point, with 1st and 9th being separated by 1 game.
It's so fucking crazy.
Everything is a must win.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to save this for a little later in the pod, but right now I'm going to throw it out there. I said I was going to suggest a rule change, but no, I'm not going to suggest it. I'm going to demand it. After this week, if all current projections hold, 1st through 8th will have the same record. I absolutely demand we change the playoff format and it goes to an 18 playoff for this season for that reason. How can we be going into the last week of the season with 1st through 8th all with the same record and we're going to leave 2 of those teams out? This is bullshit.
Okay, first of all, I appreciate your effort, but you and Daryl are obviously in the most disadvantageous position.
It has nothing to do with that. I win 2 games, I'm in no matter what. Not only that, I'm a 20-point favorite in my current matchup. I am not worried about that at all. I'm getting in. I'm going to feel bad for the team that gets left out because, like, this is ridiculous.
It is.
Like,
it is an insane season.
Yeah, we've had years where it's like, oh, things are really tight this year. No, we've never been like this. This is absurd.
Really quick, just a quick shout out to McMillan, Burchak, and Jason Smith for all being on the stream. Jason Smith did comment, no one thinks about that as far as the Dawson Knox, Stephon Diggs offsetting thing. You just play who you think will get the most points. But I maintain that I thought Dawson Knox would get the most points over Kyle Pitts. But whatever, that ship has sailed. Moving back to your point, Jerry, I appreciate that. And, like, I don't think we can do it. I don't think we can make a rule change mid-season. Obviously,
all we need is a quorum. That's all we need.
No, that is not true necessarily. But I would love to hear people's thoughts.
What if we got unanimous consent? Would you be okay with it then?
If all 10 members in the league agreed on it, I might allow it. But you would have to get all 10 members to unanimously agree. And I'll tell you right now, Jason McMillan agrees with you. He says, I agree with Jerry. Alex says not everyone gets to make the playoffs. And here's the thing, too. If everyone has the same record, the tiebreaker is going to come down to points scored, which is what it should be. But the bottom line is, this season has been absolutely insane. I've never seen, just to show everyone at home, like, this has been, and it's a credit to the league as a whole, right? That this season has been maybe the most competitive in league history. That all of a sudden, everyone's still in it with 2 weeks to go. Everyone's got similar records. It's just, I don't know if the Superflex had a role in this. And I
think so.
Well, and I know people have had their own feelings about the Superflex, but I gotta say, This season might be my favorite all time, just because of how insane this year has been.
So we all know that luck plays a factor in fantasy football. Like every week's just a coin flip. Like at any given week, it's like, hey, I know you're projected for 120. Guess what? You get 70 this week. Hey, I know you're projected for 105. You get to have 160. It's ridiculous. Like nobody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that of everyone in the league, the safest person has to be, I would think, McMillan, because even if he just loses out, he has such an advantage for the wild card that I don't see a way McMillan realistically misses the playoffs unless he just lays eggs the next 2 weeks. That
McMillan's getting in. Like I can't see that he doesn't.
And I would say that I have the next best chance, but the problem really is I have at least a tough matchup this week. And I'm also I've got some bye week troubles coming up. So
okay. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I started reading the chat and I was going to chime in on that, but go ahead, finish out.
Yeah, all I was going to say is this. I agree with Alex in the chat. This season has been maybe the most fun, the most competitive we've ever had. And I do want to thank everybody, even Brad, even though he's not competitive, for just making this year so competitive, taking this as seriously as we've all taken it. Jason making trades every day. It's just been a really interesting, fun season. And it's a credit to all of you guys. So, let's switch gears and go back to our recaps because we've kind of deviated from that a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
The leading scorer and Rich Get Richer beneficiary, Jason Smith, leading scorer in Week 12, beat up on Alex. Alex didn't do a bad job this week. Third highest scorer in the league and takes the loss to the highest scorer. By 30, mind you.
Like, don't get me wrong. I feel for people when it happens, but at the same time, it is what it is. We all know that I got into the playoffs last year 4-9. Me, of all people, understand. I think, I don't know this for sure, but if I had to bet, I've gotten into the playoffs with the wild card more than any other team. I usually have terrible luck with this. Like, I think I'm like a little bit higher than what I normally am. Not normally am. I'm a little bit higher than I should be because of some of these results, but like Alex is probably also getting in. This is part of the reason why Alex is like, no more no extended play. I really hope Alex doesn't get in now just for that reason.
There's some salt going on in week 13 and 14. No, I mean, Najee had a bad day.
The entire Pittsburgh.
He won't have... Yeah, Pittsburgh just had a terrible day against the Bengals. The interesting thing is, for Alex, right? He made a big boy trade. And I don't know if it's motivated by the fact that Russ has been kind of inconsistent since he's been back.
He's hurt. He's clearly not 100%.
Right.
But he still got him 19.5. I'm a little surprised he made the move the way he did.
For those who don't
I don't know if I'd have sent Cooper Kupp in that spot.
Cooper Kupp has returned to Jason Smith's team. It was the big...
This is collusion, by the way. He handed off Alex Cooper Kupp for like 5 weeks so he could get himself into the playoffs, and then he's like, oh, no, it's all good. Give him back now. That's what happened.
But Alex sent Cooper Kupp... it was Cooper Kupp and somebody else. I can't remember. It was Cooper Kupp and... I want to say...
it was like Ernest Johnson, I think.
Kenny Galladay.
Oh, Kenny Galladay. That was the other trade that Jason... Jason's just trying to trade with everybody in the league.
Right. No, Jason's had a problem with... Can someone who's been watching in the chat, can someone please tell me how many trades Jason Smith has made this year? Because it's the league record.
At least 3. I think it's 4.
It's more than that, I think.
I will also say...
record.
I'm going to throw it out there. Like, me and Jason had multiple trades that we were like talking about and that we were close on. And then he kept trading away a piece to somebody else. And it's like, I had multiple trades with him where I'm like, look, man, I know you're losing this trade, but you're getting 2 starters and you're losing 3 guys off your bench. Your team's getting better. And he's like, I don't know, not too much to give up. And it's like, dude, you're going to still have Ezekiel Elliott on your bench if you do this trade. You realize that, right? Now, he got Cooper Kupp. That's great. But like, even after he got Cooper Kupp, he was like, oh, yeah, but no, I still want Keenan Allen. I'm like, what do you want me to do, dude? Like, you traded away the quarterback that I needed.
Now that it's over, I can say, I know that even last night as the trade deadline approached.
Trade deadline's on Friday. It's not passed yet.
Okay. Well, I know that Jason.
I'm in the middle of a trade talk right now, so don't tell me the trade deadline's passed.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. I'll shut my mouth. But I know Jason's been. I mean, he and I have been talking about how, he has been active in trades. McMillan just commented in the chat. He offered a bunch of trades to McMillan. They're all like Jason has been unbelievable in terms of making these trades. I've been very impressed, and his team now. I just want to take a minute and look at Jason's
It's a
team.
squad.
It's a god squad.
It could be better if he had made a trade with me.
Oh,
but,
stop!
Whatever.
Look at this roster, top to bottom.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, his team would be better if he had made a trade with me.
Justin Herbert, Leonard Fournette, Joe Mixon, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Dalton Schultz, Zeke, Kirk Cousins, Eagles D, Zach Ertz, Tony Pollard, Brandon Ayuk, Broncos D, Kenny Galladay, Alvin Kamara, Ronald Jones.
Now tell me right now, if his starting lineup, like looking at his starting lineup right now, okay?
Gosh.
Swap, like this is what he would have had if him and I had made a trade. Swap out Leonard Fournette for Austin Eckler. Swap out Ezekiel Elliott for Keenan Allen. And then swap out Kirk Cousins for Kyler Murray. That is what he would have had in his starting lineup if he was willing to make the trade with me.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty... But like the thing is, like, his team is
Actually,
still...
He wouldn't have Cooper Kupp, though, I'm pretty sure, because he gave away Cooper Kupp for Kyler Murray. But, like, I don't know how big of a difference you see Kyler Murray to Kirk Cousins or Cooper Kupp to Keenan Allen. So
but I
guess that's kind of a wash.
That's the crazy thing. Like, he doesn't necessarily need Kyler Murray when Justin Herbert's the number 3 quarterback in fantasy, Kirk Cousins is the number 9 quarterback in fantasy. His like, literally, if you look at position rank right now, 3, 6, 3, 3, 1, 3, 7, 9. His defense is 12. Who gives a crap? Like,
but he also has the Broncos
stupid.
defense, who's 4 on the bench. It's good. And I will say this right now. I want to make a bet on it. I don't know if you'll take the bet. Jason has a first-round exit from the playoffs.
Wow.
First round. Assuming he doesn't get the bye. If he gets the bye, then it's a wash. If he is playing in week 1 of the playoffs, he has a first-round exit. That's what's going to happen.
Wow. Throwing down the gauntlet, Jason.
This isn't even a gauntlet. This is the fantasy gods do not bless people like this. Your team looks too good. You're set up for failure here. That is what's going to happen.
Jason sounds like he's pondering.
This isn't even against Jason.
In the chat.
This isn't against him. This is your team looks too good. It's too good to be true. It will be too good to be true. He's going to have a first-round exit. I remember the year before he won the championship, he had the best team in the league. It wasn't even close. And then he got bounced. Like, I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, I will say his team is averaging 145 a game on that starting lineup. It's just stupid stacked. And again, for Alex, he made the trade, I guess, to compensate for the quarterback issue. I don't know that he needed to make it, though.
I don't think he did. I wouldn't have.
And it definitely... Losing Cooper Kupp on his team is going to hurt.
So here's the thing. I can understand why he did it. But the thing is, though, the thought process is like, clearly Russell Wilson, wrong sport.
Clearly Russell Westbrook's a Laker.
Russell Wilson is not healthy. And we know that.
Yeah.
But Kyler Murray's not healthy. He missed 2 weeks.
He's missed like 10. He was like 8 weeks. He's been like questionable forever.
That's what I'm saying. And he's had limited participation all week in practice after a bye. It's like, I get why it's like, oh, well, I'm obviously Russell Wilson's not healthy. I got to do something. I got to have someone better. But like, you still have those injury questions. So like, I get why he did it. I don't think I would have done it with Cooper Kupp, especially having Jacksonville this week.
Yeah.
Is there any way Cooper Kupp doesn't go for 20 this week?
No. Let me ask you a question, Jerry and Jason, because I like to be an instigator here. I like to make things interesting. Let's assume, arguendo, that Jason makes is playing in the first round of the playoffs. Slap bet?
Jason doesn't play the first week?
If he does, I'm saying if he plays the first week, if he's in, if he doesn't get a bye, but he's in the playoffs, do you take a slap bet that he loses?
I'm not taking a slap bet. I'd make a bet on money on it. I'd make a bet on money on it. And again, this isn't me shitting on his team. This isn't anything about that. It's entirely like the fantasy gods do not reward the best team.
That's just true.
Like, that's just a fact. Like, when was the last time the best team in the league actually just went on to win the championship?
Well, we know that the fantasy gods don't reward just righteous things because you won last week with 92 points.
Yeah, but I was also playing Daryl.
65. Ooh.
I mean, let's be real. I finally got a win in one of those spots. Like,
yeah, but
okay, sure,
okay, 6 and 6.
No, correct me if I'm correct me if I'm wrong. I am leading the league in points against right now, right? Actually, I'm not 100% sure. I thought I was leading the league in points against. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm good. I'm in a good spot considering my problems that I've had with my roster. But like, I've also not been the luckiest person when it comes to playing against people's best matchups.
You're the 9th highest scorer. I don't know.
I'm not saying that. Like I said, I'm not. Well, okay, saying I'm the 9th highest scoring is really weird when 1st through 9th are all within one game of each other. It's not like I'm crazy high. I'm sitting in 8th place right now.
No, I know, but like the difference between you and I is like 200 points. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, like I know I got to get to 8 wins. I'm not getting the wild card. I know that.
Right.
Like, I honestly, not joking about this. I had a conversation with Zach, and I was like, "Look, I know I only have 72 points right now. Maybe I should just book the win." Like,
no,
if Tyler Heineke throws 5 picks, I will murder myself.
No. That's like I thought about that because like there's no if you're not getting
there's no way I get the wild card.
And so there's no I mean, but the problem is that heaven forbid I think you made the right call because it might vary. The odds of him doing that were extremely low.
They're low, especially because I also had Tyler Lockett. But I'm just like,
right. But
I know I'm not getting the wild card.
But you don't know that you might not. You don't know that you might not be in a tiebreaker with like Daryl for like the last spot.
It's like it's Daryl and that's it. Like I think I still have to make up like 70 or 80 points on like James or Window to like beat them out for. Like I gotta get to 8 wins. That's the reality.
Yeah, that's true.
But also, like, can we all? I mean, we haven't got. Like, we talked about one matchup and then we jumped around. Let's move on to the next matchup.
Whoa, really quick. One more thing. McMillan offered a slap bet with anyone in the league that Jason Smith doesn't win the championship.
Jason against the field. I feel like I'd. That's tough.
That's a tough one. He says one time offer, Jason. I didn't see that earlier. I'm curious if someone will take that. If you're in the chat and you want to take it, now's your chance. And you get to slap McMillan, which is great. He doesn't usually do slap bets. He usually just loses a lot of money on the Dolphins.
Yeah, I really do want to slap him in his face.
So let's move on to your matchup, which I just opened up. I mean, like, Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen are your lifeline because Christian McCaffrey going down for the year, that is a rough loss. Like, I have flashbacks to when we were doing the Madden simulation for the number 1 overall pick, and, like, Jerry was just running away with it, and there was that moment where there's, like, all right, so the other 3 teams are playing. Jerry has a bye. Jerry could walk away with the number 1 seed, right? The number 1 overall pick right here. And then everyone else loses. Jerry gets number 1 overall pick. And who would have thought that it would have ended this way with Christian McCaffrey done for the year in week 12, not doing anything really through the season?
I've gotten like Christian McCaffrey is like completely fucked me this year. Like I've already talked about in length about how the Panthers' decision-making on not putting him on the IR, and then when they did, it's already been a problem. But the fact that, like, Christian McCaffrey would have been traded away 3 weeks ago if Kyler Murray could just fucking play in a game.
Yeah.
That's the reality. Me and Jason had a done deal. This is the trade if Kyler Murray plays this week. Oh, he didn't play. The next week, done deal if Kyler Murray plays this week. He didn't play that week. The next week, he's on a bye. It's like, cool. Like, what are we doing right now? Christian McCaffrey has completely fucked my season. I guess I should have taken Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. I just got a whole other bottle of wine. So it's a problem. I was making the argument, like, I look at my roster. I'm 100% good with my roster if I make the playoffs. DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Lockett, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, my quarterback situation is still pretty weak, but like I felt very, very good about my situation. And then it's like, hey, by the way, you know how he rolled his ankle? Fuck him. He's out for the year. like, of course, that's what they decide to do. Right. So like, I needed to do something, and I said, me and Jason were inches from multiple trades. It didn't happen. I don't hate the fact that I have Mark Ingram this week. I don't hate the fact that Tevin Coleman doesn't have a terrible schedule, even though it's the Jets. I'd love to be able to just like confidently start Miles Sanders, but let's be real. That's just not happening. The coaching staff in Philadelphia fucking hates him. Like he slept with the coach's wife. I don't know. I just don't know anymore.
Oh man, no, the Miles Sanders thing is just so confusing because he's such a dynamic player when used effectively, but like they apparently like Boston Scott more. I don't know.
Like I guess they do, but that's why I also picked up Boston Scott. I don't know if either one's going to play this week, and they do get the Jets, so like it's helpful, but like I don't think I can't not. I mean, let's look at last week. Sorry, I'm jumping into this week, but last week I was projected to win by 17. I won by 22. Like overall, it's not like, don't get me wrong, I got to win with 92 points. Like I'm not going to pretend like that was skill or something, but I was supposed to win handily. I won handily. It is what it is.
I mean, for Daryl on the other hand, right? Like just no production out of his players. But he's starting Elijah Moore. He's starting Jerry. Elijah Moore has been.
Alvin Kamara being out doesn't help, but Alvin Kamara being out. Did CeeDee Lamb play or did he get hurt during the game?
Hold on, really quick though. Elijah Moore, until this game, he had put up 9.7, 10.1, 23.9, 11.9, 25.6. Like, not insignificant numbers. George Kittle up until that, since he come back in the fold, 17.1, 13.5, 11.4. Like he actually a rare double tight end start. He started Noah Fant too. Fant has been more inconsistent than Kittle since Kittle's return, but I mean it's just he's not getting his running backs. Barkley and Harris did, I guess. Barkley underperformed. Harris did okay, but it's just it's the same logic of McCaffrey for Saquon Barkley. Like he's vastly underperformed. He was out with an injury for a large swath of the season.
Are we convinced that Saquon Barkley is good?
I think he's a good football player. I just think there have been.
It's just like he's never been healthy since he's been in the NFL. Like.
Didn't his rookie season? Wasn't he a monster?
He was good. Like I feel like he had a pretty good rookie season. He had a pretty good rookie year. But he's literally has not been healthy since then.
Well, this is they had an interesting article that I read this week. It was why you shouldn't pay running backs, and it talks about the top 10 running backs and how
you should not pay running backs unless their running back's name is Derrick Henry.
That's so. I mean, it's just so wrong.
It's not wrong.
It is though. Why do they deserve to get beat up on and not paid? Whereas wide receivers are making buku bucks and quarterbacks. But yeah, aside from Carson Wentz and maybe Damian Harris, his team vastly underperformed. He did trade Kamara. He pulled the trigger on a Kamara trade to Jason Smith. Who was that for? It was. Let me see. It was a trade. Terry McLaurin and Cordell Patterson go to Darryl for Dearness Johnson and Alvin Kamara. So
I still don't get it.
No, I get it.
No, sorry. I don't get it from Jason's perspective. I don't get it.
He wants Kamara. He thinks Kamara is an upgrade.
I guess. Are you starting him over Mixon?
You start him at the flex, I think, instead of Zeke. I think Zeke's inconsistency makes him want another stud running back.
Also, Cordell Patterson was a big part of mine and Jason's talks about him getting Austin Eckler.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna.
And he took Kamara. I was surprised. It was a surprise to me.
Well, and I appreciate that he took Kamara because Kamara, I believe, is not playing this week, from my understanding, tonight. Because I think that it's Saints and Cowboys, right?
Yeah, Kamara is not playing. I'm starting Mark Ingram. Actually, right after he made that trade, he was like, "Hey, we want to make a deal for Ingram?" And I was like, "Nah, not until I know Kamara's not playing."
With Hunt and Chubb out, I need this. To be fair, I'm still playing the fucking God Squad now. I'm playing.
Yeah, Sean, you're taking the L this week.
My win streak is up for grabs. No.
Yeah, it's you're taking the L, bro.
No. Wait till predictions. Moving on, Zach got he had his Brad bye week. He got a much needed win.
Come on, man. Don't do him like that.
No, look, Brad, it's okay. You outscored Daryl. But Brad put up 70, and I was rooting for Brad, right? He had even a slight chance going into Monday night. Just can't get anything done. And Zach is a scary wild card team. He's put up.
Zach's team is terrible.
Stop.
Zach is bad. He's not in the playoffs. You were talking
about how I'm the second most in points scored against. I've been getting
Christian McCaffrey. I don't want to hear it.
Bro, Zach leads the league in points against. Despite
by how much? By how much though? How much is the difference? I actually asked that earlier. I thought I was the leader right now. How much is the difference?
1 point.
Thank you. Okay, shut up.
But like, okay.
And he hasn't had the injury problems that I've had.
No offense. No offense.
No offense. That's rude.
Parks and Rec. I think we can all agree that, objectively speaking, your team is not as good as Zach's team. And
I fully disagree.
Wow. Okay.
Christian McCaffrey. My team was better than his.
What I was saying was, like, for teams at the bottom, like, there is certain, like, basic math about, like, teams at the bottom of the table usually have the most points against. Teams at the top of the table usually have the least points against. And there's, like, because, like, that's how math works. But at a certain point, like, Zach is, I would say, like, he and Jason both have had a lot of points scored against relative to where they are in the standings. And you can even make the case for maybe McMillan. I don't know.
What are we talking about? Where you are in the standing? First and ninth are 1 game apart.
That's true.
What are we talking about?
That's fair.
Like, after this week, 1 through 8, probably, I mean, at this point, I'm going to say probably because these are all the favorites to win this week. 1 through 8 will have the same record.
That's insane.
It is insane.
Can you imagine if we go into week, going into the last week of the season, going into week 14, 1 through 8 are all at the same record. We're all like 6 and 7 or 7 and 6, whatever it'll be.
That's what it's going to be, man. Like, I think actually, if I'm remembering correctly, it's like everyone will be 7 and 6. Zach will be 6 and 7, and then Brad, who cares?
Don't do him like that. Just going on into the matchup really quick. I mean, I'll really quickly summarize Brad's team. No one of note aside from AJ Dillon.
Zach also got a win with 91 points. I would have beat Zach this week.
Well, Zach again he had 3 players perform: Dak, Elijah Mitchell, and Devontae Adams. Everyone else vastly underperformed. And he's like, oh, Jalen Hurts is on the trading block too, because, you know, in case anyone needs him.
He's a week 14 bye. He needs probably 2 wins. He needs at least 1.
Yeah, I get the move, but like Jalen Hurts also, like, his trade value isn't as high as it used to be when he's putting up less than 7. Like, I understand, not much worked for the Eagles against the Giants, but like, I don't want a quarterback who just put up 7 going into a playoff push where we're all fighting for position.
And you don't have him for the last week of the season, and we've all already talked about how everyone needs a win in week 14.
Yeah,
like, everyone needs a win.
Yeah.
Is there going to be, like, at this point, it's kind of the conversation of like, if it goes to the way we've talked about it, and there's going to be 8 teams at 7 and 6, and Brad and Zach at 6 and 7, like, is there any team that, like, every team has to be worried about, if I lose, I'm not making the playoffs?
Oh no, I fully believe that if I lose out, I miss the playoffs, because I believe I'll be down there with. I'm not worried about like it. Like, my ideal situation is you, Daryl, Brad, and like someone else are the bottom 4. But the problem is that even in the points scored right now, I think I'm like maybe 5th. Like, I only beat James and Window, and one of them's gonna make the playoffs, so I need the other one to, I guess, lose out. It's just an absolute shit show.
Crazy. I've never seen a season like this.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like, it's one thing when you're like halfway through the year and you're like, oh, it's super tight in the stand. No, like, going into the last week, it'll blow my mind if that's actually how this falls out. I mean, I hope it doesn't, because I think that's bad for me.
You know who gets the Brad bye in week 14? At least he believes.
Of course, it's Jason Smith.
Yeah, Jason Smith. He says, first round bye, here we come. All right, let's go to the last matchup and then talk about the standings. Sorry, Brad, we're not going to get too much into your team. So, we're on McMillan and Waller, and this is like, it's like there's no justice in the league, right? All McMillan needed to do was do his job and send James into the bottom half of the standings where he absolutely belongs. And James squeaks out. Thanks to, once again...
But he's like... let's be real right now. Like, I get that McMillan lost Derrick Henry. I get that Travis Kelce's on a bye. I understand that. But if I'm being frank here, we're starting David Johnson. You benched Derek Carr for Cam Newton. Like, McMillan could have won this game.
Yeah, that was a stupid play. All you have to do is start Carr over Newton and you win.
You start Carr and you win. Like, and I get
it's the homer
why
pick.
You picked up. I get why you picked up Cam Newton. Cam Newton is not Cam Newton anymore.
Well,
he had a couple of rushing touchdowns. I get it, but Derek Carr is good at football. Like, period. Like, Derek Carr is QB12 right now. Yeah. Like, he's obviously in a one quarterback league, you're kind of wondering. And like, let's be real right now. I think this kind of highlights the importance of the 2 quarterback league that we're running right now. Derek Carr is a good quarterback. He can play.
Yeah.
You wouldn't start him in a 1 quarterback league.
No.
In a 2 quarterback league, how do you bench him? Is my question.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and you have to. This is when the next level stuff comes in, right? The Dolphins, you might like if you were only watching the first half of the year, like looking at the standings or like looking at records, you might say, "Oh, the Dolphins are terrible. Like, they're a bad team this year. Like, they're not gonna." The Dolphins' defense in the they're on a 4-game win streak, and the Dolphins' defense has been the reason why they're at like. If anyone watched,
it's not Tua.
No, Tua's been efficient. He's been a game manager, but like. It's been the defense that has just, like, they're doing this cover 0 where they just say, hey, every cornerback, you're either going to be in zone or man coverage, and everybody else, safeties included, just blitz the quarterback and see what happens. Like, this is just the defense that Brian Flores apparently runs, and it's working. Like, McMillan watched that Ravens game. He lost $400 or $300 some dollars on that game to me. Yeah. And the fact that he starts Cam Newton against that defense, knowing what it can do, it's his own fault. But I will say this, I still don't want to play McMillan's team in the playoffs because he still has weapons.
It's come down to earth a lot, though.
Amari was out. Kelsey was out. Connor was out.
No. So, okay, let's talk about this. Okay, Kelsey was – you're never starting 2 tight ends, and he got 16 out of Gronk.
Darryl just started 2 tight ends.
Okay. Let me refer. Okay, and Daryl's also one of the worst teams in the league. Like he's one of the guys that probably should be at more like 4 wins rather than like 6. No, like you're never. All right, let me rephrase it then. McMillan is never starting 2 tight ends.
You're probably right.
You got 16 out of Gronk. Like, you got your best case scenario from a tight end while your number 1 tight end was on a bye. Like,
I mean,
he still lost.
If I'm McMillan, I at least think about. You probably don't, but it depends on matchups, right? But like, your starting lineup is Brady, Henderson, Connor, Thielen, Cooper, probably Kelsey, and then maybe Gronk. Your flexes are Gronk, Claypool,
do you feel
or Renfro.
Good about starting Henderson? Do you feel good about starting James Conner? Yeah, though?
Henderson is RB. Let me see, 12, and 12. Connor is. RB10.
I mean, I don't know if you feel great about him. Like, James Conner splits time. Darrell Henderson's in a pass-happy offense. Who knows who's going to get the ball that week? Like,
well, the thing is, if he wants to offset risk, he could do like I could do like I have the Browns committee and Chubb and Hunt. He has the Cardinals committee and Edmonds and Connor. So if he wants to offset risk, that's the way to do it. But like, I get
no. Like, honestly, you're in a situation where you're kind of hoping one gets hurt.
Hold on, let me see. Jason McMillan says it was a mistake. Jason Smith says he traded his best running back for Cam.
Who was his running back that he traded for Cam?
I don't remember.
I mean, I can click on Cam real quick and I can see it.
It was David Montgomery.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
But Montgomery really hasn't been much since he got back.
I still think you want to start him over David Johnson. I mean, David Johnson won him a championship. I get it.
It's a bye week thing. He didn't have Connor. He didn't have Edmonds. I'm not as worried about it as you are. As for James's team, I feel like the way you feel about, I say this all the time, but I feel like the way you feel about Zach's team is how I feel about James's team. Like, Dalvin Cook's, how long is he out now?
I don't know.
He's questionable this week. They said he's caught outfield.
But he has Alexander Madison, who's one of the best backups in the league. Like,
yeah,
I get that Dalvin Cook is Dalvin Cook, but
he went to Florida State.
I just hate there's the Florida State shout out from Sam.
That's his neighbor.
That's wild. I hate James's roster. I hate that he's starting Jarvis Landry. I don't
like that he's starting Devontae Freeman.
Ryan Tannehill. I hate Devontae Freeman.
Well.
Devontae Freeman went to Florida State?
Hell fucking yeah, he did.
That's weird.
I don't like anyone on his roster.
Yeah, I mean, outside of like Mark Andrews, like, I mean, obviously, like, obviously, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, but like,
in my opinion, if there is justice in the league, right? The people who should miss the playoffs are obviously Brad.
Let's talk about Jalen Ramsey.
And then you, Daryl, and either James or Window. And I just feel like obviously we know one of those two is going to make the playoffs. I just feel like more of you are. And I don't think you necessarily deserve it. But then again, I'm going to miss the playoffs, so who cares? Let's really quick go back one more time and just show the standings to everybody so they can see it. This is so nuts. So I'm somehow in first, just by virtue of being fifth in points.
Somehow.
Like, no. The crazy part is, all the 7 and 5 teams are 5th, 6th, and 7th in points scored. Then you have the 6 and 6 logjam, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 8 and 9 in points scored in that order. And then there's Brad. And then there's Brad. So there's our standings. Let's really quickly, I do want to show the note Zach posted to everybody. He posted in the group, and I just thought it'd be good to bring up. And I'll read it out for those, like I said, listening. Usually at this point in time, we can analyze what-if scenarios a lot easier because most games are throwaway games. It comes down to a matchup or two each week. Not so much this year. I'm not even sure who to root for other than Brad. With 2 weeks left, there are 1,024 possible combinations for all the matchups. There are 9 outcomes out of that 1,024 where a team will be in with 7 wins. Jerry twice, Zach twice, Alex twice, McMillan twice, and James once. So,
so like you need 8 wins to get in.
So, basically, so Daryl and Jason are the only teams that if they are 6 and 6, they have no chance of making the playoffs at 7 and. I'm sorry, they're 6 and 6 now. They have no chance of making the playoffs at 7 and 7 based on record alone. So they, will need to win a points tiebreaker or get the wild card. And Daryl obviously won't do that. So, in order for
he might put up 400 this week.
In order for Jerry or Zach to be in that position, getting 7 wins and not having to win in the case of a tiebreaker,
it's not real.
It requires I think 9 or 10 different results. All of them must happen for that to happen. So he also mentioned that there are 11 scenarios where teams get 8 wins and aren't automatically in. Most are a 6-way tie at 8 and 6, but 2 of them have a single team at 9 and 5 and a 5-way tie at 8 and 6. The long and short of this is that in 99% of the scenarios that he has, 8 wins makes the playoffs. That's what you need to take away from this. That's why the episode title is 8 wins and you're in.
8 wins and you're in.
8 wins and a 99% chance to make the playoffs. Otherwise you need tiebreakers or wild card. That's crazy.
8 wins and you're in.
That's crazy. And it gives such an edge to Window.
I went back and looked actually, and I'm pretty sure that there's been one scenario where a team with 7 wins didn't make the playoffs. And it was on a tiebreaker. So normally 7 wins gets you there. The extra week this year obviously adds one to that, but it couldn't be tighter.
It's so crazy. Let's really quickly, I guess we'll switch gears now and talk about the trade recap and the waiver wire.
I mean, we've talked a lot about the trades already. I don't know if we need to
well, I just want to make sure
sit on it for
see
too
him.
long.
It's, Alex sent Kenny Galladay and Cooper Kupp to Jason Smith for Brandon Cooks and Kyler Murray. As we talked about already, Daryl sent Dearness Johnson and Alvin Kamara to Jason Smith, who has a problem, for Cordell and Terry McLaurin. Those are the only 2 trades that have happened thus far. And as far as the waiver wire goes on the waiver summary, let me pull that up. Offers report. I actually made a pretty critical mistake in my opinion because I had the Browns on bye this week and I needed a defense. And I thought I changed it. Apparently I didn't. I spent $77 to get Jamal Williams back after I dropped him last week. I was surprised no one else outbid me for him because I need a running back and I figure Swift is probably going to be out. But in doing so, I did not get Boston Scott because I only wanted one of the 2 running backs and he was my second pick. And I also overbid for the Dolphins defense. I would have gotten them, but I did not have enough money. I thought I changed the values to make it literally the rest of my budget. But apparently I didn't. And so I couldn't get the Dolphins defense, and Daryl snagged them with $0. And I've tried to get them in a trade. I can't get them because I'm not going to offer anything for a defense of substance in a trade. Foster Moreau went to Zach. I guess he needs tight end help. Teddy Bridgewater went to James. Jason Smith added the Broncos defense for a surprising amount of money. And then Alex had a bunch of bids in for different defenses. He ended up with the Colts. Taysom Hill went to Daryl for no dollars. And this is when you see kind of some of the $0 bids. Taysom Hill went to Daryl. Boston Scott went to Jerry. Dolphins D went to Daryl. And I think that's it. So that's our waiver wire. Before we get into predictions, the very last thing I just wanted to cover is not our Facebook page, but rather our schedule. And this is the schedule I posted last week. Obviously, you can overlook week 12. It doesn't matter. So the week 13 matchups and week 14 matchups are here for everybody. Window plays Daryl this week, James next week. McMillan gets Zach and then Alex. Alex gets Brad and then McMillan. I get Jason Smith, fuck me, and Daryl. James gets Jerry, and then that's going to be a critical game. And then Window, which is an even more critical game. Daryl has Window, and then myself. Please win, Daryl. Zach has McMillan and Jerry. Jason Smith has myself, obviously, and he gets his Brad bye in week 14. Must be nice. Jerry has James and Zach. And Brad, this is your chance to be spoiler to Alex and then Jason Smith. You can still be relevant. Be a spoiler. So that kind of gives you a sense of who you guys are going to be playing in the last 2 matchups. Let's get into the Week 13 predictions. First one is the one I'm dreading. Myself and Jason Smith. He is projected, and I have my starting lineup in, I'm pretty sure. This is probably what it's going to look like. Maybe I switch out Darnell Mooney, maybe for Van Jefferson. But that doesn't change the projection at all. By like 1/10 of a point. I'm still projected to lose by 15. Do I have any hope, Jerry?
No.
All right.
I don't think so. Sorry. I mean, I'm taking Jason. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love the position I'm in, obviously. I do have a boomer bust team, but he's just got too many studs. Mixon, Hill, Cup. It just, like, that threesome there just scares the shit out of me. I think this is the week the win streak ends. I think I dropped to 7-6 and we get a giant fucking log jam. I will go Jason Smith as well, unfortunately.
It is what it is. Like, I actually think, like, I don't have it directly up right in front of me, but you're projected not a bad amount, and you're still projected to lose by like 25?
15.
Okay. like
I'm projected 122. He's projected almost 140. It's just fucking.
Yeah.
He has a super team. It's just fucking insane, and it just sucks. But who knows? Maybe I'll pull out the win, and then the pressure will be off in week 14. So moving on, Daryl and Window. This is a huge matchup, obviously, because much like me, Window can punch his ticket this week, ostensibly, with a win. And Daryl needs to, just like you, Daryl needs to win out to have a realistic shot. So, Window mollywopped him the first time these teams played in week 4 to the tune of, I think 60-some points. Who you got in this matchup? I gotta reset the rosters because it's not updating. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. So, Antonio Gibson and James Robinson are questionable, but they do have projections in, so we assume they're playing.
Let's see here. Scoreboard.
Daryl's starting that combination that he got in the trade of Patterson and McLaurin, which you would imagine he would. Also starting Wentz and Taysom Hill at quarterback against Mahomes and Tua for window. I can predict if you want me to go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love Daryl's matchups. Not that Windows.
You love Daryl's matchups?
Absolutely. Carson Wentz going against Houston. I don't love.
That's good.
I don't love Saquon.
Patterson against Tampa. Saquon against Miami.
But the Dolphins defense gets the Giants, so like that'll kind of balance out. I'm not sold on some of these like Taysom Hill against Dallas. Like Dallas, I know they might be pissed off, but like the number of pass interference penalties they had in that the Raiders just shot 30 on them.
I think Taysom Hill is going to have a good day. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. Taysom Hill's going to have a good day. I agree. Like I'm saying, like Taysom Hill against Dallas is a good matchup.
I see a good day there, but I don't know, man. Like,
and if Taysom Hill has a good day, and if that game turns into a shootout, CeeDee Lamb might very well have a good day. The Raiders also surrendered about 30 points, so Terry McLaurin could absolutely have himself a day. I just like I look at his matchups. I don't like. I like. Daryl's
I guess we're gonna get a little bit of a
more.
sneak peek tonight, though, with CeeDee Lamb playing New Orleans coming up in about 15 minutes. So.
Absolutely, and the other thing too is, and I'm a big Josh Allen fan, but New England has a great pass defense this year, and Stephon Diggs and Dawson Knox for window are gonna have to play that pass defense. Granted, Tua does get the Giants. Granted, the Bucs get to play the Falcons. There are some good matchups window has too. I think Daryl gets a win here. I
get it. I get why you would pick him.
And because I have to root for the 7-6 logjam. I just have to. Right? I mean,
I'm not rooting for it.
If Jason Smith wins and Daryl wins, that means 4 teams are 7-6.
I'm not rooting for it. Oh, God, like I just wish Windows team was better.
It's really bad.
It's not
great. That Daryl's is great either, but like
it's not great.
I do like.
But I'm gonna roll with Window in this. I believe.
Daryl made.
I believe that Buffalo has something to prove against New England, and that's gonna be big for Stephon Diggs. If James Robinson or Antonio Gibson doesn't play, though, both are questionable. Like, sorry, Window. Like that, it is what it is. But I'm gonna roll with Window on this one.
All right. Here's the one we can spend the least amount of time on. Brad versus Alex.
Alex. With Brad. Fuck him. Let's go. Okay. I will also say
the projection's off really quick.
The projection is off because he's still starting a person on a bye. Brad
right.
is. Brad, set your lineup before Thursday. Come on, man. Like we even did the podcast late this week.
He doesn't have anyone who plays on Thursday night game, but you're right about that he should start his lineup for the pod. He's gonna probably. I have to guess he's gonna start CEH at RB1.
He's got to start CEH there.
Right. So
which is gonna give him like I don't know what his projection is. I'm assuming it's like 12 to 15.
10.8. So the line
okay, like 11.
The line is essentially 11.
Kyler Murray, whether or not he plays, is huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you trade away Cooper Kupp for Kyler Murray, and then Kyler Murray doesn't play.
Well, look at
you're gonna have a bad time.
Look at the red on Alex's lineup right now.
Yeah,
Kyler's questionable.
Josh Jacobs,
Brandon Cook's questionable. Logan Thomas, Josh Jacobs, Melvin Gordon, all questionable. Pat Freiermuth questionable. Both his tight ends are questionable right now, and Debo's doubtful.
Debo Samuel,
and Antonio Brown is out. He's suspended.
What the fuck? How did Antonio Brown all of a sudden become suspended?
I just know that someone texted me today said Antonio Brown's a dumbass, so he's out. Let's see. Suspended 3 games without pay for violating the joint COVID-19 protocols. They misrepresented their vaccination status. This is the meme that someone posted. Where's that meme?
I thought they came to the conclusion that he didn't fake the card.
Oh, so he faked the card. Where's that meme? I gotta find it. Here it is. Here it is. It's so great. Oh, so Antonio Brown out for 3 games. He just doesn't. Alex doesn't have depth this week. If a couple of these guys are out, Brad could legitimately play spoiler. And if Alex doesn't win out, he's in the wild card conversation. He's not getting to 8 wins. This is a huge week for Alex, and
it is.
With that said, it's his Brad bye. Until I see evidence to the contrary, Brad.
I've been saying
out.
For about 3 weeks now, like, I know if I get to 8 wins, I'm good. But god damn it, it would be really helpful if Brad could just beat someone. And for 5 weeks in a row now, it's like, nah. Like, so I'm hoping for Brad. I believe in Brad.
You're picking. Are you picking him?
I'm picking Brad.
Oh,
Lamar Jackson in a bad week is gonna drop a 40 burger on Pittsburgh this week. That's what's gonna happen. Especially just to fuck Alex, having it happen against Pittsburgh.
Just for the chat, Jason and Alex both say that Kyler is likely. Jason says Kyler's 90% to play. Alex says he's
90?
a full 90. Alex says he was a full participant today with
was he?
Oh, yeah.
Was DeAndre Hopkins was also full today?
Both full participants.
I love it. Need him back this week.
Well, we're gonna get to you.
Hopkins' hamstring was limited at practice on Thursday. What the fuck? Why are you telling me lies?
Well, you got to talk to Alex about that. He gave me the false intel.
Hold
but
on.
we will get to your matchup right now.
I'm going back to Alex's team real quick. I gotta see. Is Kyler actually a full participant today? Where's my news for the
Thursday?
day?
He practiced in limited capacity, but there's an expectation. There's an expectation that both will play.
Okay, there's the expectation, but there's a big difference in they both fully participated and they both had limited and are expected to play, because Alvin Kamara practiced in a limited thing all week, and then guess what? He ain't playing tonight. So
that also was a short week.
But is it a short week when you didn't play last week?
I see.
Like Alvin Kamara hasn't played in 3 weeks.
That's true. That's true. I'm not complaining about it.
And he was a game time decision last week. So
I'm not complaining about it.
I'm not mad. Like, come on, Brad. I believe in you.
Now, this is a very interesting... I mean, all these matchups are very interesting, but, like, this is a very interesting matchup for me because I've been talking about how James doesn't deserve to make it, and you have a chance to render holy justice and make sure he falls to 7-6. And again...
James fell into a really weird spot this week, too. All 3 of his quarterbacks coming into this week were on a bye. He dropped one and picked up Teddy Bridgewater.
Wow, that's huge.
And he's not starting. Right now, he is starting a questionable Jordan Howard in his Superflex spot.
What is going on? He's in bye week hell. I thought I had it bad, and I do.
This is his bye week hell, especially when you factor in Dalvin Cook's not playing. Like,
wow, he's done.
Like, he's projected for what, 99?
Yeah, the projection is you by.
And that's 17. With them getting like 18 out of Alexander Madison against Detroit.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Like, if there is a fantasy god, I should win this week. Like, my team. I'm not going to get into the argument of whether or not my team is better than his overall. This week, my team is better than his.
Dalvin Cook is going to come back.
No Dalvin Cook. No Aaron Rodgers. No Ryan Tannehill. Like, no Jarvis Landry. AJ Brown is on the IR. Like,
yeah, I have to predict you. There's no alternative.
I should, like, by all that is right in the world, I should win this week.
Which means you're going to lose.
Who knows? Also, I need to win it by like 50 because James is one of the people I can actually catch when it comes to points scored. So I'm predicting like a 1-point loss for me.
If you can beat him though, like, again, there is every possibility that depending upon how this is right now, every team could be 7-6, and then except for the loser of this next matchup. The loser of Jason and Zach, no matter what, there will be at least one 6-7 team. There could be more, but one of these two is going to be 6-7 and is going to be relying on the wild card. And this is the wild card game. Honestly, I imagine everyone who is interested in the wild card is rooting for rooting for McMillan here. Because you don't want McMillan to fall into that wild card scenario. Because
you don't. No one wants McMillan. He had too good of a start of the season. Everyone wants McMillan to win this matchup.
But the projection's only 7, and I don't think there are a ton of injury question marks. There's a couple questionable guys. Jalen Hurts, I'd say, is the most concerning, maybe. But even he's limited Thursday for practice. But apparently he maintained the same activity level. They're saying they've expressed differing degrees of optimism. It will be. I mean, obviously though, it's an ankle, so like mobility is a factor there. I don't know that even if he starts against a favorable Jets defense, whether he'll be the same level of mobility. So the question for Zach is, does he have enough in the tank to get it done with Devontae Adams on bye? He's losing the best player on bye out of the only person that McMillan's losing on bye is Cam Newton, who's not relevant.
You said Deontay Johnson or
Devontae Adams?
Sorry, Devontae Adams. Okay,
yeah.
That's why I was a little confused there. Yeah, I will say, like, when Jason put that Facebook post though about, hey, anyone want to make a trade? Zach threw out Jalen Hurts out there, and I don't know how many nibbles he got on that. I'm a little curious if maybe he makes a last-minute deal before Friday night, actually, to make a move on Jalen Hurts.
It could be, and again, buyer beware with that ankle. But here's the thing: I actually thought about it.
You know, here's why I wonder how much Zach is going to struggle to make a trade there, because Jalen Hurts has a Week 14 bye.
Yep.
How important is a Week 14 win for everyone?
Yep. And the trade deadline's Friday, so he's not going to. No one's going to have that peace of mind that, oh, I've got 8 wins, I'm probably good. I can trade for him. Like, he might not be able to ship him at this point. And I'll tell you right now,
it would be tough.
I thought about it, but like my question, like I have Allen and Burrow. Do I really want to try to take on the risk of Jalen Hurts even for trading? I'm not giving up Allen, obviously. I'm giving up Joe Burrow. Do I really want to take on that risk after Joe Burrow had a monster, like not a monster game, but like the Bengals put up 40 on the Steelers?
Yeah. Zach and I'll be frank. Zach and I had a conversation, and it was kind of like he kind of threw out a name, and I was like, okay, and what else are you giving me? And he's like, well, why would I give you anything else? It's like, everyone needs a Week 14 win. That's why. I'm not giving you something like.
Trade deadline's tonight at 3 a.m. By the way, sorry, Alex, comment in the chat. Go ahead.
Sorry. I knew it was Friday. So Friday at 3 a.m. I knew it was on Friday.
So this is the last chance. I don't think he's making a trade.
This is the last night. This is it. Yeah. Like, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how these last 7 hours go. But
yeah, no, Zach has also been a little bit bigger on value with certain players than I have. We had the whole OBJ conversation earlier before Bobby Trees went down for the year, and I was kind of pissed off at Zach about that. But I got Van Jefferson now, so that's basically Bobby Trees light, and I'm kind of okay with that.
Who is Bobby Trees? I don't know what you're saying.
Robert Woods.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that. So wait, I don't know if do we predict people for McMillan and Zach? I'm predicting McMillan. Actually. Oh, there's a lot of good matchups here.
A lot of matchups.
I'm predicting McMillan.
This is another spot though where it's like I honestly think I would start Gronk over Hunter Renfrow.
That's what I said. 2 tight ends. You were like, give me shit for it.
Like I was saying, like I don't. No. I wasn't giving you shit. I was saying I don't think McMillan ever does it. I don't think he's ever going to start 2 tight ends. But looking at the matchup right now, Gronk gets Atlanta. Hunter Renfrow at Hunter Renfrow at Washington's not bad. Like Washington's defense hasn't been anything special, but like Gronk's been good when he's played.
Gronk has put up more points per game than Hunter Renfrow.
That's what I'm saying.
And Gronk gets a better matchup. Why would you not run 2 tight ends? Run Amari Cooper, Adam Thielen, James Conner, Darrell Henderson, and do the double tight end and roll the dice. But I'm with you, man. I'm 100% with you. We're giving free fantasy advice, McMillan, and given that you haven't spent any of your budget,
I was not saying it's stupid to do it. I was saying I just didn't think it would happen. But like, I honestly, looking at this matchup, I just don't know how you don't.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you.
So yeah, like I think I'm going McMillan.
Yeah, I am too. And again,
I'm going McMillan.
I think the Jalen Hurts thing is the biggest.
If Jalen Hurts doesn't play, Zach is 100% screwed.
Like, right, but even if he does,
last 2 weeks, like
the value of Jalen Hurts is in his mobility. When he has an ankle injury, like he's not going to be as mobile. He's not going to be as effective in the kind of the QB sneak scenarios. I don't and like on broken plays and things like that. I go McMillan here.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
And right on time for the Thursday night football game.
Let's get after it.
So good luck.
Mark Ingram's gonna drop a 40 burger, right?
I mean, if we know anything, it's a 50 burger now. The new standard is a 50 burger. Just ask Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, literally, Jonathan Taylor drops 50. Austin Eckler's like, well, I can do 40, right? That's okay. And the next week, Leonard Fournette's like, I can do 40. This is fine. Like,
fantasy football is nonsense.
What the fuck is happening? Like, I don't understand. Fantasy football is bullshit. I still demand it. Let's put a poll in the Facebook group. If after this week, not 8 teams are 7-6, we expand to 8-team playoff. Put it out there. Let's do this. Voting ends middle of next week. That way, when Alex loses this week, he'll be like, wait a minute, this is a good idea.
Again, the only way I would even consider it is if there is unanimous consent among all 10 members.
What if it's unanimous plus people abstain?
No, I mean unanimous. Like
Come on.
10 yeses.
We can't get a response out of Daryl.
It's
gonna be an abstain from him.
You need to. We need to. First of all, if anything, you'll get a yes out of Daryl because of the situation you both are in. But I would, in order to make a rule change mid-season, I would need unanimous consent from the members in this extreme. And I will tell you,
I demand unanimous consent.
In this, all right,
filibuster.
In this extreme scenario, if there was unanimous consent among all 10 members of the league, I would consider it as a special once in a lifetime.
Absolutely. Scenario. You're going into the last week of the season and 1 through 8 have the same record. When is that ever going to happen again?
This is, I will say, this is the crazy. I texted our standings to 2 friends of mine who are big into fantasy football and just like got their thoughts. Like, I thought you'd think this is neat. Like, they're like, holy shit, what the hell is going on in your league? Like, I've never seen that. In 12 crazy. Years, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, no, this is absurd.
So, and I want to say one more thing. Thank you, Alex, Jason, and Jason for joining us on the pod and the chat. Thank you, Jerry, for coming back to the pod. It's good to have you back, brother.
It's been a minute. I apologize.
Hey,
hopefully I'm back in for real.
I'm saying Jason did an admirable job hanging out too. Window was in there for a little bit. I think Alex was on it for a week.
I want to just throw out something there, Jason. When you're on the pod, you got to be a little more animated. You got to throw out a little bit more of a hot take. You're just very like calm and cool and collected all the time. Like you got to get pissed off a little bit.
I like Jason. I like
Jason. Jason, you shouldn't be 6-6. You should be pissed off about this.
My favorite part about Jason, aside from like we did the grading episode, which was a lot of fun. But my favorite part, one of my favorite things is he would come in with those sweet, like, the filters and things like that. He had the deal with it glasses on, which was, I've never figured out how to do that, so that was pretty badass. But thank you, Jerry. Thank you guys, Jason, and Alex. Good luck in your matchups this week. I hope we're all set, even if it means I lose. If I'm going to lose, I hope all of us are 7-6, except for whoever loses the McMillan-Zach matchup. Yeah. And let's just see where the chips fall.
It would be cool if it happened. I hope it doesn't because I think it's bad for me.
If it happens, I just want to, like, we got to send it to Matthew Berry and say, no, what the hell do we do?
Absolutely do. We absolutely do. It's like, hey, going into the last week of the regular season, what we should expand the. I'm gonna word it as such like we should expand the playoffs, right? Like this is ridiculous. Like you can't have a 16 playoff when 8 teams are tied going into the last week. Like
you know what? 10-team playoff. Bring Brad back. Bring Brad in.
I literally talked about expanding the playoffs. Maybe that's what we needed this year. This is the perfect way to do it. We're going to have a 4-week playoff instead of 3 weeks. This is awesome.
Oh, man. Jason says to close out the podcast, I'm too happy roster baiting just to lose in the first.
That's I'm just telling you, if Jason does not get a bye, first round exit, I'm calling it now.
Put a slap bet on it.
Put it on the board.
Keyshawn, put it on the board. Slap bet on it. Come on.
We need to have a board. We need to have a board about our hot takes to see how they turn out.
How they pan out.
This is definitely something we're adding for next year. We're gonna have a board. It's gonna be up in the background of every podcast. It's gonna be perfect.
I'll put it on the board. Screen. If you put a hot take on the board, I'll put it on the screen.
Put it on the board.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Good luck. See y'all next week for a wild finish in week 14.
It's been real.